When we are reading a book, there's a lot more going on than just memorizing information and getting new ideas. There's actually a massive emotional component to reading that is responsible for so much deep personal transformation. And I find that this goes completely overlooked by most people when they think about reading. And truly, the emotional aspect is the part that transforms you the most when it comes to reading. And I want to actually explain that a little bit. And emotional contagion is partly responsible, if not mostly responsible, for this phenomenon. So emotional contagion is a form of social contagion that involves the spontaneous spread of emotions and related behaviors. Such emotional convergence can happen from one person to another or in a larger group. Emotions can be shared across individuals in many ways, both implicitly or explicitly. So when we're talking to another person, we are actually sharing emotions and energy just by being in the same location and by giving them our attention. And it's actually the same thing with books. When we are giving a book our attention, we are exchanging energy with the author. There's actually a very radical connection between us, the information in the book, and the author. And when an author is actually writing a book, they are inputting, of course, their ideas, but also the emotions behind those ideas into the book and all of the related behaviors. And through this process, you get their ideas, their emotions, and their related behaviors, which is why reading is actually a very powerful way to pick up skills. You actually pick up the behaviors of the author. It's not just like knowledge in the form of just pure concepts, but it's actually changing how you are operating at a fundamental level through, emotional contagion. And I want to talk a little bit more about that through reading. So energy transfer through reading involves the exchange of emotional, intellectual, and psychological energy between the author's words and the reader's perception, leading to emotional resonance, cognitive stimulation, and potential personal transformation. So when you're actually reading a book, pay attention to how you feel. Notice the actual emotions behind the words that you're reading, and notice and actually feel that you are receiving value through reading. Actually pay attention to how that sort of resonates in your body by bringing your awareness into your body, and just pay close attention to your experience. You'll find that there's far more than just getting a new idea going on, but there's a massive rewire in your instincts and emotions, and really this occurs over time. And it also depends on what subject you're talking about. Some books are particularly potent, while others not so much. And you can check out my book list for a very profound list of very potent books, but really the author and their consciousness is being put into the book, and by reading it, it is transferring into you, which changes you at a very fundamental level. So when you read a well-written and emotionally charged text, you absorb the emotional energy and intentions of the author. This process can be deeply transformative and can contribute to personal growth in many ways. Some ways are emotional resonance, skill building, perspective shifts, self-discovery, empowerment and motivation, coping and resilience, expanded vocabulary and communication, creative expression. Naturally, you absorb the behaviors, emotions, ideas, and consciousness of the author, which leads to building skills and transforming your being. So I really want to emphasize the importance of this emotional aspect to reading. It's totally really just underlooked. It's not really appreciated, and we actually need to change how we are thinking about reading. So notice the actual feeling behind the ideas and let that move into your body. You can detect this by bringing your awareness into your body. And once you are present to the moment enough, and once you give the book your full attention, naturally that sort of exchange of emotional energy naturally happens, especially over time. If you are reading a book for, let's say, 1 hour straight, that is really how to get, let's say, the most out of that book, by giving it your 100% attention over time. And, when you put it down, you pick it back up later, and you continuously return your attention to it over and over and over again. Through this process, you're actually deepening your connection to the book, aka really the author, and the information, emotion, and behavior change that they are offering you through the book. So reading is not purely intellectual. The emotional, intuitive, intellectual, and instinctual components all work together to transform your being. There's a huge emphasis on reading being some like intellectual pursuit, and although yes, that's true, that's a fraction of what's actually going on when you are reading. There's far more to the experience than just getting ideas and then being able to like sound cool and articulate them in articulate the ideas in an interesting way. And the reason why we are so drawn to things like that is because it makes us also feel a certain way. It makes us feel reasonable and rational and smart. So there's actually a lot of emotional stuff when it comes to reading and trying to be highly intellectual. And I highly recommend actually not making this an either or situation, like, oh, either intellect or like heart and emotions, but actually bringing them together so that you are a more integrated being. So instead of like fragmenting all of these parts to yourself, actually integrate them and take the time and give it your attention really to actually develop these capacities within yourself. And reading is a powerful way to do that because it actually targets emotions, instincts, intuition, and intellect all at once. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions at all, let me know in the comment section below. But other than that, check out my website, check out my coaching. Take it easy.